Saleema Ishq is our speaker today. She is award-winning thriller author who weaves suspense, psychological tension, and plenty of plot twists into each of her stories. She's passionate about using social media to connect with readers and helping authors create sustainable social media strategies that let them focus on what they enjoy most, which is writing. All of us would rather be writing than doing marketing, right? Well, today you're going to learn how to do that from Saleema Ishq. Thank you.
All right. We're going to start with a harsh truth. Let me just test this out here. There we go. We are going to begin with a harsh truth that marketing is one of the necessary evils of being an author. Regardless of your publishing path, whether you are indie published, traditionally published, fiction, nonfiction, poetry, whatever you write and whatever publishing path you've chosen, all authors are expected to market their books. Although, as Judy mentioned, we would much rather be writing rather than trying to figure out what to post. Just a quick show of hands. I would love to know who is on a social media platform. Okay, perfect. And show of hands, who feels at least a little bit of pressure to post on social media, whether you want to be or not? Yes. All right, that's what I'm here for. We're going to streamline social media and make it as simple and painless as possible. Because the reason that you're not selling, the reason that you may not be selling as many books on social media as you'd like to be is not because you're bad at social media. There's just so much information out there. It's so loud, overcomplicated, time consuming. So we're going to streamline it and make sure that you have the tools that you need to post, not necessarily every single day, but feel like you can connect with your readers and use that and fit that into your writing life rather than the other way around. So Judy gave me a beautiful introduction. Thank you so much. But I would love to just show you a little bit of context why I approach social media marketing the way that I do, why it works for me, and why I feel confident that it'll work for you as well. So my name is Saleema. Here is my TikTok account. I've grown my TikTok to 17,000 followers in about 7 months. Here's a little snippet of my KDP, my very best 3-month period. I've been asked to speak at SouthWest Writers, Escape the Plot Forest, to speak on craft on social media. I was so lucky to be on KKOB, live radio. I've been featured in Albuquerque, the magazine, Albuquerque Journal, done tons of book signings, and was even nominated for New Mexico Entertainment Awards top author this last year, which was very exciting. So this is all just to say that I achieved this through social media. I did not pay for any of this publicity. Yes, I invested my time and my energy into posting. However, I feel like I've achieved a lot in this last year. And yesterday was the anniversary of my debut novel, Sisters Arcana. So this is what I've done through social media. And I feel really confident that approaching it this way can be successful for you as well. Why does social media matter? Aside from what I've achieved, 59% of US readers choose to read a book based on content that they see either on TikTok, on BookTok, or Instagram. And is everyone familiar with those terms? BookTok, Bookstagram, okay, perfect. Those are the corners. And if you're not, totally fine. Those are the corners of these social media platforms that are solely dedicated to books. People use social media as a search engine, essentially, to look for their next psychological suspense read, the best romance novels of 2025. And we'll talk a little bit about keywords, because using those keywords in your social media will help your book pop up. And you'll connect with these readers. So again, 59% of people are looking to social media and reading based on what they see. Social media also gives you an opportunity to connect directly with your audience. You're not putting ads out there and waiting to see what happens, waiting to see who will connect with them and who might click on them. You are actually commenting on other people's posts. You are responding to comments, slipping into DMs, and messaging people directly. And these are your readers. These are who are going to buy your books. It also gives you an opportunity, of course, to build relationships with these readers, share your journey, and promote your books authentically. Even just through the successes and announcements we're all storytellers, and you all have such incredible stories to tell, not only through your writing and through your books, also through social media. And that's what readers want. So my hope is that by the end of this presentation, instead of going, ugh, I have to be on social media to promote my book, we're not going to get all the way to the end of the spectrum, but I hope that you might feel a little bit that social media is an extension of your creative process. It'll let you feel closer to your characters and allow you to feel closer to your readers and connect with that audience and just bring your story to life and bring it into the world. Again, we might not get right there, but my hope is that you'll feel a little bit more excited to post. First, let's talk about platforms. I know that you mentioned, some of you mentioned that you are already on social media. Now, I don't want you to go, yay, I'm so excited to be on here. I'm going to go on all the platforms. I really suggest that you pick 1 to 2 platforms where your ideal reader spends time. We'll talk a little bit about ideal readers and creating this persona for them in just a moment. But here is just a really quick list of the various platforms, just a handful of them. What they are best for based on the format, your audience age and demographic, and then book genres. And this is just very generic. Just take these ages with a grain of salt. But in general, TikTok is for visual trends, for videos. Visual and video content is really big there. The minimum age group, or you have to be 13 to be on TikTok, and it is a much younger demographic, but all genres do really well on TikTok. Instagram, all about visual storytelling. So we still have videos there, but also graphics, photos, using copy and messaging in big, bold letters on infographics. Age group is a little bit older than TikTok. All genres do really well. Threads is an extension of Instagram, which is kind of their text and messaging only app. It's for microblogging. It's kind of like X or Twitter. 25 to 44 plus, all genres. Lemonade, another visual platform. Aesthetic content is really big there. All genres do well. Blue Sky is newer to the scene here. It's all about building connections. Facebook, which many of us are very familiar with, great for reader community. So not just posting on your personal Facebook page, but also creating groups where you can have more of a readership. Sorry, I forgot to mention that you will have access to all these slides after as well. So you're welcome to take photos, but you will also get all of these slides. So Facebook, again, not just personal posting, but creating these groups where you can connect with your readers. Substack is also a little bit newer. It is newsletters, blogs, longer form content. Literary fiction does really, really well there. Educational, nonfiction. And then LinkedIn. Often people don't think about LinkedIn as a social media platform for your books, but nonfiction, literary fiction, even fiction, creating a persona on LinkedIn can be really powerful for professional networking. And again, we're just barely scratching the surface of what's out there, but these are some of the most popular, and what I work with my clients with are these platforms. So again, even if you're super excited to get started, I don't suggest that you create an account on every single platform. Focus on 1 to 2 where you feel comfortable, where you feel like your readers are, and think about quality over quantity. So now that you've selected your platforms, we want to optimize your profile for success. Here's an example of mine up here, Marion Gray. So you'll pick your title and use that in your username. Author, perfect. Marion has epic, I forgot my glasses, epic romantasy author. And you can pick your title, author, poet, writer, whatever you would like, claim it and use it in your title, or use it in your username, because people are searching for these keywords. Write a clear and engaging bio. Let people know exactly who you are, what you write, and why they should follow you. So, for example, award-winning thriller author, helping you create your dream writing career through marketing and branding. That is mine. Romantasy author, crafting tales of magic and adventure. So people know exactly who you are, what you write, and what they are in for when they give you a follow. And then, of course, pick a high-quality photo and use that same photo across all platforms. Those were examples of Instagram. Here are Facebook examples. Same idea here. This is our friend Dee Liebhart. High quality photo. We know exactly what Dee Liebhart writes. Rita McFadden. TikTok is the same thing. Best-selling author of thrillers, writer of YA Power Girl Princess and Warrior Women. So these are really powerful keywords. They give not just an idea of what you write, but they give people a feeling of what they're in for when they look at your page. And many of these social media platforms will have limitations on characters and words. So just keep that in mind when you're writing your profiles. Now, we mentioned our ideal reader. Creating a reader character, a reader avatar is really important when it comes to your social media. We write characters all day. That's what we do. So I suggest creating an ideal reader character if you've not done so already. Many of you have. However, using this for your social media will give you an idea of exactly who you're speaking to and how you want to connect with them. So I suggest naming this person. What age are they? What gender are they? Their interests, their reading preferences. Are they looking to ebooks? Are they grabbing that, aesthetic hardback with the what are the dyed pages? What do they like to read? What else do they like to do outside of reading, and create this ideal reader so that every time you post on social media, you are posting for them. Because if you're writing for everyone, if you're trying to please everyone, you're going to please no one. We all know this, and it's really important when it comes to your social media. What do people want to see when they go to social media? I like these big three, and most every piece of content fits into one of these three: books, storytelling, and you. All things bookish are, and there will be a lot of overlap between these because, of course, if you're talking about books, if you're talking about yourself, you are also using storytelling. But readers go to social media for bookish things. They want to see what you as the author are reading. They want to see your comp titles just to give them an idea of what to expect. They want to see your bookstore hauls. They want to see you at a SouthWest writers meeting, learning about craft, learning about social media. Storytelling, you want to take them on a journey and tell them a story about really anything. Something wild happened at the grocery store. Okay, take to social media, and you can either write. If you are on Substack, you're writing a newsletter about this scenario and what happened, or you can do a face-to-camera video and post it on TikTok if that's where your readers are. And then, yes, readers want to learn about you. They want to know not just what you're reading, but what you're doing, why you write, what your inspiration was for your latest book. And I will give specific ideas and suggestions for each of these categories. Am I going too fast? Okay. So bookish content ideas. Ooh. And again, you'll have access to all of these slides. And TK, I use as I've gotten questions about this before, just as a placeholder. So this could be the number of underrated books that need more hype. So here are a few ideas that can spark inspiration. Underrated books that you feel like need more hype. Book quotes, either from your book or a book you're reading, that tugged at my heartstrings. My latest bookish craft project. Because again, storytelling, they want to know about you, and it's bookish. Most relatable characters of all time. Books that changed my life for the better. Books that made me cry in the best way possible. Books that got me through tough times. So these are just a couple of ideas. And it doesn't have to be books. It can be a book if you don't want to create a whole roundup. However, if you do a reading roundup, it is perfectly okay and encouraged to include your book in the mix. So books that made you cry, Books that made me cry? Yeah, of course. If you wrote a tearjerker, include that book. Because often readers will find these lists and they'll put all the books on the TBR, and you want your book to be on their TBR. Storytelling, content ideas. Oh, and TBR is to be read list. Sorry. Feel free to ask any questions throughout if you'd like. Storytelling content ideas. Come with me to the Southern New Mexico Book Festival. Come with me to a Southwest Readers meeting. Take them on a journey. How a reader's message absolutely made my day. This is a great way to connect with people, but also let them know, hey, this person really liked my book. Get ready with me to write. What got me through this tough writing week? Let me tell you about the terrible typo that made it to publication. That one is from personal experience. No, it didn't actually make it to publication. My cat walked on my keyboard and there was a yeah, so that was definitely a social media post that did really, really well. Talking through my character's astrology signs. Truly anything can be content. So these are just a few ideas, and feel free to please, please, please take these and run with them. Make them your own or use them verbatim. And content about you. Again, your reader wants to know about you, the author, what I'm doing when I'm not writing, why I write, a tour of my writing space. The moment I knew I wanted to be a writer, what's on my desk. So easy. Just take a picture of your desk and let people know what is on my desk. Meet my pets. We all love talking about our pets. A day in my life. And this month's highs and lows. So again, these are just a couple of ideas that you can feel free to borrow. Oh, something to consider, that nothing is off limits. However, just post what you are comfortable with. You don't need to share your entire life story. You don't need to share everything, but you can share what you feel comfortable with. My mental health is a really big piece of my writing journey. I always incorporate mental health into my fiction novels, into my characters. So I talk about my mental health as one of my pillars of my content. However, I only share just a little bit. And I wouldn't share anything that I don't feel comfortable with. Plus, if you post something and you're like, no, I didn't want to share that, just delete it. You can just take it off. Perfect. So now we know what we are posting. We know where we are posting, who we are posting for. What are 3 steps to a great social media post? The hook. We all know that we grab our readers' attention within that first chapter, those first couple pages, sometimes the first paragraph. So we need the hook, which on social media is the first 3 seconds. I know. It's really, really short. However, there are a lot of ways that we can hook our reader visually. A lot of ways, which I'll talk about in just a second. Actually, let's talk about it now. So hook for 3 seconds. That can be something visual, a book, holding up your book, being in front of your bookcase. Readers see books and they know this content is for me. It can be something visual, or rather that was visual, something written. It can be your overlay text. Again, any of those ideas that we had before. 3 books that made me cry. Someone will see this and go, I want to keep watching. That said, I don't follow all the rules. I like to break the rules. And I feel like, yes, people will be scrolling and they'll see something and decide within the first 3 seconds if they want to keep watching. However, we are trying to sell 60,000 to 100,000 word books to people. We know that our readers have longer attention spans than that. So take this with a grain of salt. Content. Offer value with things like tips, sneak peeks into your upcoming release, reading recommendations, and of course, we're making them aesthetically pleasing, either with our written content, formatting on Substack, Facebook posts, breaking it up so that it's not just one chunk of text, but space between, so visually they'll want to read it. And a cute picture of your dog with a book to grab their attention. And then, of course, a call to action at the end. Let them know what you want them to do. So encourage interaction. You can either say, comment, have you read any of these books? Or comment your last read. What book made you cry? Or if it's about your upcoming release, pre-order my book today. Just let readers know what you want them to do. Because you won't believe how many posts I see where there's no call to action. And that's a great post. People will read it, but yeah, they're not taking action. All right. Repurposing your content. So you've made a great post with that hook content and call to action. You have posted it on whatever platform you've decided. Perfect. Don't let that content go to waste. Post it on other places. So again, I said focus on 1 to 2 platforms. If and when you're ready, you can head to other platforms. Maybe you're posting on Facebook, Instagram, and Substack. Perfect. You can post the same thing on all. So for example, I have an Instagram reel here that I created. It's a video. I can post that video to Facebook with the same caption. I can also post it to TikTok with the same caption. I can post that on YouTube as a short, same caption, same video. Can turn the caption expand it and turn it into a blog post. I can use it in my newsletter. There's so many ways to repurpose. And this is just another time-saving hack so that you don't have to feel like you're spending your life on social media. Yeah.
Yeah, my book just came out and I was bombarded on Instagram by all these services. They seem all to be from India.
Okay.
They do fake reviews. And I'm starting to get very uneasy, and I think some of them are scams where
Yeah.
they'll say, book is good, good is book good. And then it'll be 5 stars, and then somebody else will say, I'll review your book. I'm like, oh, wonderful. And it'll also be, it's already been flooded as book is good is book, good book. And
So these are in the reviews or in your messages?
No, these are the reviews that they are posting on Goodreads. And I think it's a scam because
Yeah.
I literally am getting about 10 of these messages a day.
Yeah, scams have been rampant lately on social media, as well as I've been getting so many in my emails too. And it's just kind of, to be totally frank, it's like just AI slop. Like they put the blurb into AI and, oh, I loved how so-and-so went on this journey. And they obviously didn't read the book. Just delete them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's challenging to, yeah.
And it's not worth responding.
Exactly.
Hey, remove me, or you have the wrong person or whatever. That just confirms a live account, and you just keep getting crap, excuse my French, from the same. They're probably not even people. Most of them are probably bots.
Exactly. Thank you for that. Yeah. Just delete them. Oh, for those that are on Zoom. Yeah, we talked about how don't respond to them because that will trigger them to know that that it's a live conversation and they'll keep bugging you. Yeah, unfortunately. And it's challenging to block them because then they just have a new email address. But yes, definitely. I have a recommendation for a podcast about this exact topic, AI scams. The Best of Book Marketing podcast. I was on their 2 times ago podcast episode about social media marketing with Kimberly Bell, who's a thriller author that I adore. However, their last episode was about AI scams specifically. So I would suggest listening to that as well.
Would you repeat?
I'm sorry, the Best of Book Marketing podcast with Lainey Cameron and Paulette Stout are the 2 hostesses. They have they put it on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. Yeah. So they address that exact topic. But yes, I agree. And that is one of the pitfalls and one of the things to be careful about and cautious about when going on social media. Absolutely. And we can talk more about that too. Perfect. So repurposing your content using the same piece of content so that you're working smarter, not harder. You're posting. Great. What now? Well, engage, not with the bots, not with the scams, but engage by responding to true reader DMs if they send you a message, comments if they comment, or initiating conversations yourself. This is something that I struggle with because I'm a post and ghost person. So I'll post and then just go silent until the next time I post. However, I have something that I found to be successful is that I allot 15 minutes a week, maybe, and say, okay, I'm going to go on my social media platforms and just respond to all of the comments. And so time blocking that for me is helpful rather than trying to respond as they come in because I turn my notifications off. So if that's helpful, great. But again, don't post and ghost because you want people to engage. You want to connect with your readers. So make sure you're doing that. Ask questions through your social media posts. You can do this in stories. You can do this on your post. And we can talk about stories if you'd like. But asking questions, creating polls, requesting feedback. I know that there are a lot of authors who will do contests to have people name their next character. People love that. Or if, hey, which of these two cover ideas do you prefer? Get people engaged. They feel like they have not that they feel like they have a say. They feel like they're part of your journey. And you'll be an auto-buy author for them if they connect with you in that way. And then create a community. You don't have to post for just the sake of posting, and I don't think you should, but make sure that everything has value. This is your community. Does anyone have any questions? We have lots of time for questions. I know that was a lot of information. Yes, perfect.
Do you use email lists at all?
I do, yes. So here's the thing about social media. While I love social media marketing and I've connected with a lot of readers, you don't own any of your accounts on social media. You don't own your content really. So even if you can grow your platform, grow your community. However, Instagram could take everything down. So yes, I suggest taking your readers off of social media and bringing them to your email list because you own that. You own those contacts. You can offer them, and as a way to do that, and happy to come back and talk about email marketing at some point as well. Because we can talk about that for a long time. But yes, there's so many ways to entice them to sign up for your newsletter, offering readers a novella and just inside first looks. It doesn't have to be, offering them exclusive content can really take them off. But yes, email newsletters are very important, I believe. Yes. So there is a QR code there. You can download the slide deck. You'll have all of the slides, all the information there. I also have a social media course if you're interested in a video walkthrough of much of the information here, but we can dive even deeper into that. And go follow me on social media so I can follow you back and cheer you on. Does anybody have any other questions? Yes.
What are you getting the best call to action? Like what kind of posts do you get the most call to action?
Okay, call to action. Yes. I have found that I get the best response and the best engagement when I ask readers about what they're reading or ask them for input on, asking them for input and to comment something. For example, if the post was 5 psychological thrillers with dynamic sister relationships, which my book falls into. So of course I'm including my book in that post, but asking people, have you read any of these books? Would you add any others to the list? What are you currently reading? Those I've found have gotten the best engagement. And that's a great way to connect with readers, to keep that conversation going. However, if you are doing a pre-order, if you have a sale, letting people know, you can even say comment your favorite emoji here and I will send you the link. Making it as easy as possible for the reader. So we didn't talk about, how much time do we have?
Still got 10 minutes.
Okay. We didn't talk about link trees, which I'm happy to chat about. But so the user experience, you want everything to be as seamless and easy as possible. So instead of having to click through multiple different things, which I made you enter your email address and made you kind of click through a bunch of stuff to get these slides. However, making it as easy as possible for your readers to buy the book. So instead of, go to my bio and then click this link, and then they have to click through so many different things, just making it as easy as possible. So link trees are a great way to have multiple different links in your profile, or you can make it, there's so many automations too. ManyChat is a great platform for if you see things that it's like comment yes or comment social and I'll send you my slides. There's an automation where if people comment social or send you a DM that says social, it'll automatically send those slides to them or send your book link. So sorry, that was a complicated way of answering that. There are many different ways, many different calls to action that I found to be successful, but it's just about what you want in the moment and in where you are in your writing process right now, or your publishing and marketing process. Okay. Any other questions?
Online.
Oh yeah, please.
It said, I heard that you're penalized by the algorithm if you post the same thing more than once on different platforms. And particularly if it's identical, how does that change now?
I have not experienced that specifically because I will post the same thing on a lot of platforms. However, to that end, do not ever post. And this was my bad. In this slide, I said posting from Instagram to do not ever post from. Oh, sorry. I was going back.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for that. So do not ever post from Instagram to TikTok. TikTok will hate that. So always post from TikTok to Instagram. So I should change that. But yeah, otherwise posting the same content on various platforms is not. I have never been penalized for that, and have never experienced any of my clients. Yeah. Great question though. Yes.
How do you strike a balance between your social media presence and your work as an author? I mean, your social media is supposed to, your content that you're generating is supposed to be a means to an end of being able to buy your publications. I would have this fear that I spend all my time on social media, and that's like, well, I started out trying to be an author, and I just ended up just doing it.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great question and a really common fear. Time blocking is the best way that I found. Time blocking and just creating. So I block out maybe an hour or two a week where that's where I create all my content. I will schedule it out. So for the week, and then I don't have to touch social media after that. And an hour or two might be too much for others, which is perfectly fine. But that's what I would say. Just kind of creating things in chunks so that you could even do that for the entire month. Set aside a morning or an afternoon or a 2-hour chunk, create your infographics, write your captions, and then a lot of the platforms will allow you to schedule out content and it'll just drip through. So every Monday you're going to post. I will schedule my posts for the 4 Mondays this month. And then you don't have to worry about it. Yeah, you can just go in and engage whenever you'd like, but that's my suggestion for balance. Yes.
And so weekly posting is good, adequate.
Yeah, I think that consistency is the most important thing. We don't need to be posting every day. I think that weekly is perfectly adequate. Yeah, I think it's more important to do so. I think weekly would probably be the minimum that I would once a week. But yeah, it's more so consistency and more so creating the content that's going to resonate with your readers. Thank you so much.